Howdy folks, welcome into today's video. We're going to be talking about why credit cards are your friend, in my opinion. Let's get right into it. I got the cat in the room today, so if she makes an appearance, that'll be really cute. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, first reason credit cards are your friend, they help build credit history. You need credit history to get the cheapest loan you can get. Let's say you're going to get a house someday, you're going to want a low rate on that mortgage loan, that home loan, so that you're not paying more money than you have to live in the beautiful house that you want to live in. So builds credit history and helps your overall score. It's really not that hard to get a 760 score, which is the max you would need for any cheap loan to get a lower interest rate on a loan. So a cheap loan is a loan that has a really low interest rate and good terms, right? So if you have a 30-year loan, I just want to do a mortgage example as it relates to building credit history. So let's say you've been building credit history for 5 years, and your friend was building credit history for only 1 year, and you both buy the same very comparable home for like the median home price, $429,000 in the US. You both put 20% down. One guy or girl has a 5% rate. One guy or girl has a 4% rate because this individual over here was building credit history for longer, okay? Same house, same situation, maybe they even have the same income, but one's just building credit history for a little bit longer than the other, and as a result, they had a higher score, credit score, and they were able to get a better rate from the bank. So 4% person, they get $19.18 a month for their home loan. That's how much they have to pay in principal and interest. 5% person who has a little bit worse of a credit score, not horrible, but a little bit worse, $21.21 a month. Okay, so right there off the top, that's $200 a month that the 4% person is able to do something with. Maybe they want to invest it, maybe they want to spend it, maybe they want to, I don't know, buy another kitty cat and buy a bunch of kitty litter. Whatever they want to do with their $200, that is their freedom to do because they had 5 years of credit history, let's say, or maybe even 10 years of credit history versus the person who had 1, 2, or 3 lower credit history. So that's huge. If you stay in the house for about 10 years, I did a bunch of math because I was curious, the total interest you would pay as the 4% person, $123,000 or so over a 10-year time, which is about how long most people stay in their house. If you're the 5% person, $156,000. So that's a difference of like $33,000 or so over a 10-year span. What could you do with $33,000? A lot of things. That can be, I don't want to say it's life-changing money, but you know, that's a substantial sum of money that I would like to have just by starting my credit journey earlier and having a higher credit score than other friend down the road who's in a very similar situation to me. But just since I got a credit card earlier, I was able to start my credit journey earlier, I was able to save $33,000 more than them over a 10-year span. That's wild. So if I was just to invest that $33,000, I could easily grow that into double just by indexing, right? That's a topic for another video. Anyway, there's a mortgage example. I'll put some numbers up on the screen. Cool stuff. Another reason is if you're not scared to do this, which if you are, that's okay, you can put tiny little amounts of money on the credit card, pay it off, tiny amount of money on the credit card, pay it off. I was told like, oh, hey, buy a pack of gum and then pay it off at the end of the month so you can get used to it. That's fine advice. Once you feel comfortable, I think you should put 100% of your spend on a credit card because 2 reasons. One, I believe there's a cash tax, right? If I have a cashback credit card, I have 3 different cards. One of them is about 2% cashback on average. One of them is about 3% cashback on average, and then one is 5% cashback at a certain merchant. So if I was to spend just debit card cash at those merchants, let's say the 5% back one, I'd be spending 5% more. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do that? I want to get 95%, right? I'm getting a 5% discount on everything I buy from that store. I don't know. It just seems like a no-brainer to me, and that's clearly a cash tax. If you're not going to be someone who uses a credit card, you got to pay 5% more than someone who does. That can add up over time. So cash back is awesome. And just to get this out of the way, you never, ever have to pay a single cent of credit card interest for a credit card to help your score. And if you're a good borrower where you pay the full balance of the credit card every single month, you're not going to use it like some YOLO little piece of plastic. It's just a tool that helps you build a little credit history, save a little bit of money. It's not just free money, okay? I think everyone knows that. So you don't ever have to pay a single cent of interest. Just pay it off in full. Never just make the minimum payment. Pay it off in full. I've never paid a single cent. I'll never pay a single cent of interest. I just don't spend money I don't have. It's that easy. Not difficult. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, put all your spend on a credit card and you'll get somewhere between 1 to 5% discount, basically, discount on everything because you're going to get some cash back. I love it. It's a great thing. Another thing about putting your spend on a credit card, you get like a 1 to 2 month free loan. And what I mean by this is you spend, it's July right now. Let's say you bought something on July 4th, Independence Day. Happy birthday, America. You bought something on July 4th. You don't have to pay that off. It's not August 4th that you have to pay it off by. It's September 4th that you have to pay it off by. So, or well, however your credit card ends up working out. So you get 30 days before that statement cycle ends. And then you have another month to pay off that balance from that statement cycle. So if you want to, you can like push it. And let's say you have a high interest savings or checking account with SoFi or Ally Bank. You're getting like an extra 1%. That's not a lot, but you can keep your money in there for just a little bit longer if you want to play this game and then pay it off all lump sum right when the statement cycle's due. Still no interest, and your money was your money for 1 month or maybe even 2 months longer than the other person who decided to use a debit card. Yeah, so that's another one. You get a 1 to 2 month free loan, assuming you're not paying any interest because you're paying it off in full. Huge. Last thing, there's a barrier. I think this is what I normally start with when I have debates with people. I have a lot of debates with people about credit cards. I don't know why they're so hated, but there's a barrier now if you're using a credit card between you and the merchant, okay? You're here, you spend your money, you give it to, I don't know, Target, right? Or maybe some shady place that's not as big of a corporation. Regardless, right in between should be the credit card, in my opinion. Because if there's no barrier between, it's just gonna be debit card straight to merchant. That is a direct link to your bank account. I don't want people to have a direct link to my bank account. I would rather have another bank have a direct link to my bank account than some random merchant, some random gas station I have to stop at, right? I went to the mountains recently. We stopped at some sketchy gas stations because that's all that was around. I would be very uncomfortable using a debit card there because if in the event that there's fraud, which more than half of Americans deal with fraud, credit card fraud, or debit card fraud, I should say, card fraud. If there was some situation where my money was stolen, that's my money out of my bank account that's stolen when I use a debit card. If I use a credit card, it's not my money that's stolen. The bank is on the hook for that. I'm not on the hook for that. So I have a lot of time, like we talked about earlier, a month, maybe even 2 months before I would ever be on the hook for it because the statement cycle hasn't come around yet. So even in the event that they, for some reason, say, yes, this is your fault that you got your money stolen, which they probably won't, then you have 2 months to figure it out. And meanwhile, your money is still in the bank. If you're a debit card user and there's fraud, your money is not in the bank anymore. It's gone. You have to go through the whole dispute process. You think you just call the bank and say, hey, I got $1,000 stolen from me, and they're like, oh, no worries. Send it to you? No. Takes a long time. Takes a long time to get your money back. Anyway, those are the reasons why I believe credit cards are your friend. If you want a specific video on how to start your credit journey, if you have no idea what you're doing, I can make that video. I'm sure there's a lot of videos on YouTube. Or if you want a video on how to get a 760 credit score, because that's as high as you'll ever really need in order to get the best rate on a loan, let me know. I can make that as well. I'll put some links in the description for some cool stuff. And thank you for watching.